screwed we, Mark.
Don't start it.
Hang around. The last ones to arrive.
Put your glasses
All right,
on
guys
for the
and
picture,
gals.
Dave. Hey, Sloyd! Here, get Dave.
Woo!
Yeah.
Kisses.
Good. In case it rains. In case it rains, yeah.
And did Jamie tell you?
Goshen.
This is my daughter Anissa and my husband Ronnie Nelson, Sue Ryan, and Mr. Ryan. You're doing that to Mom and Dad.
Say what?
You're doing your 40 tonight?
Yeah. I want proof that you were here.
Okay.
Okay. You know who's the camera? See, I'm going to verify that you said you wouldn't go through the line. So you're not through the line.
Not through the line.
You're drinking coffee. It was not by choice.
I don't know if you got it. Jimmy?
Okay, got it.
All right. And the guy in the blue tie is saying, man, I wonder who made that stuff. That looked like it could crawl on the plate and die and just walk off. I said, let's see what else we have here. Then there's Jimbo's sister. Then there's Coach. Get it on Coach.
Where
Right
is
there
it?
on Coach. See him?
All right, there
I'm
he
gonna
is.
get in here and get some of this, boy. I ain't gonna let nobody have any more. Look at that. Got it. Oh, got it. I'm gonna reach down in there and get another one. Oh, he missed it. What's he gonna get now? Get it. Oh, he got it on there.
Okay, how about Mr. A? He's not in
Where's
there.
Mr. A at?
He's over there.
Oh, wait, okay. Waiting on him. He's over there drinking his usual normal cup of coffee.
Perusing the...
And Mr. Ryan.
Okay, now we're going to pan back over to the ball team.
There's Mark. Get it done, Mark.
All right, got it.
Okay, Mark's going. Well, I can't wait to get in here. I'm hungry. I hope Lance don't come over here and on my head. Now he's sneezing. You gonna have that for supper, Mark?
I don't get too
Jimmy
close.
Barber.
Okay.
Jimmy Barber. He's
Got
over
him.
there. Man, I can't. Ooh, this stuff's bad. Guys, let's go to McDonald's. Okay, he's straightening up now.
Okay, now we got Scott and Aaron.
Don't choke the guy too much. Okay, I'm through. See you guys later.
Oh. Yes, sir. Let's see what you got there. Tell me about it.
I got me some cookies and some chicken here and some spaghetti.
You got any junk food there?
Yeah, right there.
All right.
All right.
How
That's good. So why don't we have a word of prayer here? We'll begin our awards presentation tonight. Father, again, we're grateful for this time we can come together as brothers and sisters in Christ. Lord, we're grateful for all that you've done in this school. Father, I thank you for each one of these who have participated in athletics this year, for each parent that's been so supportive, for the coaches that have worked so very diligently. Lord, so many people, we could go on and on. So Lord, we thank you for all that you've done this year, what you're going to continue to do. We pray that in Jesus' name. Amen. I could probably stand here and say thank you to an unlimited number of people. So many people have been involved in our sports programs this year. I'm almost hesitant to begin to name names for fear that I'll forget somebody. When we began, many of you remember, as we came together for the first time this year for our first orientation meeting, we looked out and said, folks, we need a volleyball team. We've got a volleyball schedule and we've got a tournament in about a week and we don't have a volleyball team. So some of the girls came and Mrs. Comer and Mrs. Alexander began to work with the girls and spent many hours, worked hard, did a great job throughout the year. Similar situation in basketball. We had a basketball schedule. We had some guys. We didn't have a coach. We began to pray about that. Lord, we need a basketball coach. So, Lord did something good for us. Not only sent us one, sent us two. Sent us a couple people to coach a basketball team. Takes a little more than that, though. We needed somebody to drive a bus part-time. Needed somebody to run a clock. Mr. Weinberg did all those things for him. Appreciate all his efforts in that. All you people who spent time working the door, working the gate, taking money, and in the concession stand and doing those things. Without all those things, none of these things could be possible. Most of you probably didn't realize that Mrs. Ryan washed all those uniforms after every game. After every game, all those stinky, smelly uniforms went into a bag and she took them home and washed them. All those things we appreciate so much. Everybody that had a part in all that, we really appreciate. Appreciate Dana Barber for coming and doing the scorebook for us all the time when we needed somebody to do that. So many people had such a part in this. That's kind of the way everything seems to be around this place. Everybody does a little bit and it really works. We appreciate that very much. So we're here to give tribute to those people tonight who have participated as cheerleaders, our small cheerleaders and the big cheerleaders, the older girls, the volleyball team, and the basketball team. We appreciate each and every one of you very much. We're going to ask the cheerleader sponsors and the coaches to make each one of those award presentations. We have various awards to give to each one. So Mrs. Martin will be the first to begin. She'll be presenting the awards to the little cheerleaders.
I just want to say one thing. I wanted to thank all of the basketball players and the cheerleaders for accepting the kids as part of their spirit team. The ball players have been so sweet and encouraging them. And, you know, it's really neat when you big kids let the little ones know how much you appreciate them. It means a lot to them. And I know that my daughter Jamie, she's not even 5 yet, can dribble a ball like Jimmy Barber and shoot. So I really just want to tell you that I appreciate it and it means a lot. And so I guess I'm going to go on and give out the awards. We had a real good squad this year. And they all get these cute little patches to put on their sweaters next year. They have a P on it. Side with a little megaphone. So we'll go on. First of all, we'll give one to our little mascot. Our Tigerettes had a mascot. It was Jamie Martin. And she dressed up in her uniform and we painted the whiskers on her and the whole bit. And she bounced around and hopped around and got a lot of attention. So Jamie? It really didn't happen, and my daughters were first. I think Tony Martin. Girls, line up. Line up. course, my niece is next, Nicole Bonneville. And Monique Madrid, Anna Milan, Christina Basham, and Crystal Durkee, Shanna Bates, and Stephanie Weinberg. Say one thing too. At the homecoming game, when all of the big cheerleaders were candidates, my girls had to pull it off. And I had a lot of people come up and comment on their spirit and their enthusiasm, and I was just really proud of them that night. Of course, I think they thought I was so mean because I kept saying, don't sit down, don't do this, you gotta keep moving, do this. So I just wanted to say I love you guys and you did great this year.
I think most of you know that as far as my philosophy of cheerleading is that it's also a sport. I believe that they need to be in excellent physical condition if they're going to do a good job, if they're going to keep safe. And so we do have quite a commitment when you're cheering, and I appreciate the squad that we had this year. We came a long, long way. We had a lot of work and effort went into it, and felt like it was a real good season, and we have awards for them. That's when I wanted to start with. This year we had a mascot and thought that she did a real fine job, and we're going to hate to see her go. We'll have to train a new one for next year. But we appreciate all the work that Michelle Schaefer did as our mascot this year. Our team captain this year was Becky Strode, and I appreciate all the work that you put in helping to keep the squad together. I believe that Elizabeth Kunkel is ill, so she isn't here tonight. Renee Curry. Maria Nasasi. And while she's not old enough to receive, by the way, we need to explain this. Letters, the chenille letters, can be earned only by students in grades 9 through 12. We have some that are younger that start the sports and are part of the team. They will receive the emblems and they keep them, and then when they finally get their letter in their 9th grade year, they already have a string of emblems to put on them. But we don't award that particular letter, just the pin that goes with it, and that's for Kelly Weinberg. This is our cheerleading squad for this year.
We had a good time. This is for Renee Curry. We have one for Elizabeth Kunkel. She's not here. Holly Boyle. Susan Keeney. Kimberly Keeney. Belinda Keeney. And we have three special awards. And the most improved player, she's not here, that was Holly Boyle. She came a long way from the first of the season. And she went and served the ball and she missed. And at the end of the season, she was one of the best servers we had on our team. Okay, the Christian Character Award, that goes to Kelly Weinberg. Okay, the most valuable player, proud to say, me. And I almost forgot, she had a volleyball pin for Maria Nastasi.
Before we introduce our basketball team and our coach to Mr. Weinberg asked if he might have just a moment to share a story with you tonight. Some of you may have heard this. I don't think many of you have. Steve went on the trip to Tulsa with our basketball players and cheerleaders and had some rather unique experiences. So he wanted to share a little bit of that with you tonight.
To kind of preempt a little bit of what I have to say, the group of us that worked or volunteered our time and did all this stuff, it was a lot of work at the time, but you look back on it now and it was a true blessing. Any of you folks who just didn't get a chance to stay involved or be involved or spend your time with us because of scheduling problems or whatever, you really missed out on a blessing. These kids were fantastic. Story I've got to relate, a lot of you have heard it. I went with the ball team to Tulsa, and Mr. Mahan told us about a little Mexican restaurant that for $2.79 we could eat ourselves to oblivion. So we went over there that really the first full day that we were there for lunch for this $2.79 unbelievable meal, and it really was. It was a truly fantastic meal. Yeah, that way, Daryl. Stay in there. At any rate, we didn't tell our kids anything. We didn't line them up before we went in and tell them, now listen here, you all behave yourselves and act like, you know, young men and young ladies. As a matter of fact, we never said a word to them, and we didn't even sit at the same table that they sat at. They sat at one great big long table, and they all lined up, and the men went one way and the women went another way, and we had a fantastic meal, but we never said anything to these kids. There was a latter middle-aged couple that walked in behind us and stood there in line, never said a word. After our meal, we all piled out to our cars, and we were waiting to take our normal head count to see if we'd lost anybody. And this upper middle-aged gentleman walked up to my window of the car, and he kind of made it all worthwhile. He made all the time, all the effort, everything that the kids did, the entire trip of traipsing all the way down to Tulsa and back, the driving in the middle of the night or whatever it took to get around. He walked up to my car and he said, "Y'all got a real special group there. Where are they from?" And I told him we were from Providence, we were from here in Independence, and we're down here for a Christian basketball tournament. And he said, "I thought so. It shows." It makes it all worthwhile. If we did nothing else, out of that whole sports program, that made it all worthwhile. That one person, that testimony of one person walking up to us and just out of the blue expressing, he said, "I thought so. It shows." That to me made it all worthwhile. You've got a fantastic group of kids, parents. They were a real blessing. Our whole season made it all worthwhile. That's all I got.
Well, I'm about to cry. No. We had a great year. Basketball team. They're a great bunch of guys. Mr. Bass said to me the other day that I have my speech prepared. I took him literally, and I thought till about 11:30 last night what I was going to say. But don't worry, this is not going to take very long. Guaranteed. One thing, though, I do have to say before we get started, and that is Jamie, if she can dribble like and shoot like Jimmy Barber, honey, you got a long way to go. Let me tell you. Ooh. There's a lot. I'm like Mr. Weinberg. A couple of things that happened this year that made the trip extra special. I'm going to tell you about. But I like to thank some people first. I know Mr. Bass has. But I like to thank Mr. Albertson. Great assistant. A wonderful person. And just a joy to have around. And we just had a good time. There was about 6 practices that we didn't think as a team that Mr. Albertson was going to say anything. But finally, when he cut loose, I'll tell you what, man, we just had ourselves a good time. He was really special, a very special person, and it was really neat to have him around. And next year, I'm not sure how much he's going to be helping me because we're going to have a girls' basketball team here. We're praying for it, and I guess Mr. A probably will work with that. I'm hoping he will. But he was a real blessing to have around, and we could sit here and tell you a lot of stories about, we'd be in a huddle in a very serious moment, and all of a sudden out of the blue, Mr. A would come up with something really silly and dumb, and we just crack up. I mean, it was that kind of a thing. Mr. Barber can probably tell you about that. I mean, we had some good times. Dawn, where are you? Dawn! She ran away. Dawn kept stats for us. And now she comes. Dawn, did you keep stats? She kept stats just about every game, home and away, and I appreciate that so much. And that gave us the ability to keep track every game and throughout the year of what everybody was doing. And I appreciate that kind of effort from Dawn. She's a fine-looking young lady, isn't she? She belongs to Lance. Mr. Weinberg, Mr. Wilkinson, Mr. Bass, and Dana Barber, thanks for all the work on the table. Mr. Bass really didn't like working on the scoring table. He did all right. He messed up a couple times, but he did all right. It was in our favor, so we won that game. Mr. Weinberg for driving. That was neat because and Mr. Bass drove quite a bit too, but really helped out to have somebody just say, I'll drive, and you can kind of get your mind going on the game instead of worried about the traffic, and I appreciate that. Mrs. Ryan for keeping those dirty, sweaty, smelly uniforms clean. She's a special lady. They didn't smell? Ooh, I know, because I had to stand next to some of those guys. I believe that Jimmy Barber, Mr. Barber, would you like to come forward this time? I think he wanted to do something about this time. Mr. Barber, we ain't got all night, son. That's the way he is on a basketball court.
On behalf of the basketball team, we'd like to thank Mrs. Sue Ryan for all her help with the uniforms and washing them and everything. And for her, we got a gift certificate to Independence Center. And this is for her only and not Scott or Jim.
I think these boys know me all too well. Thank you.
Don't spend that on anybody else but you. Let me share a couple things if I can, then I'll get on to the awards and introduce all those guys to you. But on Monday, October 3rd, we had our first meeting. It was just me and them. They didn't know me from Adam, and I didn't know them. And I got into this because somebody said I was an answer to prayer, and how do you say no when you're an answer to prayer? I tried to figure out a way for a couple days, and then I figured, well, might as well go for it. But I had coached some AAU basketball and City League basketball, but nothing like a varsity basketball team. I did not realize the work and the time that I was getting myself into, but I'm not complaining because it was a very good time and well spent. We had an opportunity to meet each other, and I kind of told them what I expected of them, and that kind of kicked it off. I'd like to give you a couple things that I told them in that first meeting. We talked about practices. It's important to practice. It's important to work. If you're going to accomplish something, you must practice and work at it. If you're going to succeed, you need to work. You need to get it in gear and work. So in practices, examples of valid reasons for missing. And these are those reasons. You move to Central America. I get a call from the hospital. You're attending your wedding. You break a leg, or you're caught in an elephant stampede. Now, those are some of the reasons that are valid reasons. Invalid reasons are your second cousin's wedding, a runny nose, a jammed finger, an appointment that can be rescheduled. And I'm going to enforce those things just a little bit harder next year. See, I was a freshman coach this year, and they were a freshman team, and I was learning. So I learned a lot this year. Games, we talked about games and what I expected, and when we hit the basketball court, we will play to the best of our ability. And no matter what your ability is, you give 100%. And that's all that we expect. And Mr. A, we gave our 100%, didn't we? We tried. Mr. A and myself, we tried to give our 100%. And I also told them that this year we would go for the gold, but the gold for us, if you remember what I said, guys, the goal for us this year might be playing to the best of our ability, giving 100%, so that we can walk off the court even in a losing manner with our heads held up high, saying we did our best. and we went for the gold in many areas this year. Talked about schoolwork. Like Mr. Bass and I talked about schoolwork at length. And as a parent, I got some areas that I want my son or daughter, whoever it might be, they have to accomplish. And it's important that their grades be up. That's the most important thing. The first most important thing is your schoolwork. And that's what I tried to tell them, that do your homework, don't get behind, study for tests, ask for help. I expect schoolwork to be the first number one thing in what we were doing, and basketball is second. Attitude. And this is where it comes to Mr. Weinberg and some of the comments we've heard this year. In my opinion, well, we represent PCA. No matter where we go, we represent PCA, and what I expected of the team was their attitude to be right. Good attitude. I'm convinced that our attitudes powerfully influence our behavior, and they also powerfully influence the way we play. And I wanted our attitude to be right. One of the things you do when you're a basketball coach, and Mr. A will verify this, you spend a lot of time together. We got to know each other real well because we were together from October 15th to the second week of March. Just about every day, except for Wednesday and the weekend. And we spent a lot of time together. And you get to know the players. You get really close. You have some happy times and you have some sad times. Fun times and work hard times. Some soft talk times. And some get down and yell times. You know what I mean? Get in your face and spit in their eye. But that's the kind of times that we have together. They have seen me at my worst, and they've seen Mr. Albertson at his worst. And they've seen us at our best. Ponchos was about the worst, you know. But they do. They get to see you, who you are, how you live, how you react to things. And one of the things that I pray is that I pray that our actions as coaches would relate Christ. That they would see Christ in us. In everything we do. Sure, we're going to mess up and we're going to blow our cool once in a while. I did a couple times for the ref. I didn't get a T though, Lance. Aaron. 2 T's this year. One by Aaron, who was going to pick a fight with somebody. No. Oh! Yeah, I forgot. Jimmy got a T for faking an offensive hit. It wasn't a fake though. But I've seen these guys when they've had good days, and I've seen and been with these guys when they've had bad days. And we've had some times with really good, close times together. We've prayed together a lot. We've shared together a lot. We've driven places together. We've eaten together a lot. We've just had a good time. And these guys, parents, are the greatest. I wouldn't trade one of these young men for any team, or any person, or any guy that we played against all year. These guys are super special guys. In St. Louis after a game, this is another little story, Mr. Weinberg. After the game in St. Louis, we played Blue Ridge, and we were really outclassed quite a bit. I mean, we played the varsity, and it was a tough game. But I tell you what, we lost. But coach came, or one of the refs came up. In fact, both of the refs came up and said something about our team. So one guy said, "Coach," he said, "that's a fine team you have there." He said, "I'd be honored to have any one of them on my team." And there it is. these guys work hard and have some good attitude. In Tulsa, the same kind of things happened. We had some people share some things about these guys. So we've had our ups and downs, and we had times when there was a quarter here and there we weren't able to score. You remember those quarters? I think they were every other quarter. He was being polite. A lot of missed layups, right, Mr. Barber? You remember those? A lot of cheapy shots right underneath. My grandma could have hit it. No. Mental breakdowns, turnovers. But let me tell you, they worked hard to improve themselves. They come back into practice and work hard to improve themselves. We had some great moments together. Our first home game, remember that? First home game was a victory over St. Joseph, 60-45. How about beating Tri-City? I'll tell you what, if you weren't at that game, you missed one of the best games of the year. We beat Tri-City in overtime, 68-64. And it was worth the price of the ticket to see Nathan McLean play defense. That was one of the finest games defensively that I have seen one of our guys play all year. And if you missed it, remember? Oh, I loved it. I loved it. He played some solid defense that game. We had a lot of good comments from various schools. One was from Tri-City. The second time I went to Tri-City, the administrator there came over to me and said that our bunch of guys was some of the finest guys they had in their school all year. The way they looked, their attitudes, the way they walked, the way they talked. Folks, we had good kids. We had good kids. And I wouldn't trade them. Overland, 64-58. Remember that? Yeah, they were missing their big guy, but we beat them. That's all that matters. 72-68 win over Crescent Lake in overtime. That was another one. Faith Christian, 69-66. Midwestern, how about that one? 80-71. We had some good times. St. Louis, we lost to Blue Ridge in 86-43, but I tell you what, their score didn't show, but these guys played hard that game. In Tulsa, how about playing St. Louis Christian Academy? Wow. I wish that we have that on film. No, we don't have that one on film. That game was probably the best played game all year from this group of young guys as a team. As a unit on the floor, that was probably the best they performed all year. They played as a team, got into foul trouble too. The guys got into foul trouble. David Weinberg came through and did a wonderful job. And I'll tell you what, that was just a good team game, and we almost beat those guys. We almost beat those guys. What was the score? It was a 12-point spread, and we got in the fourth quarter, we got within 4 points. And let me tell you, their starting five, or at least four of their starting five, could dunk. And they played a very physical, hard game. And it was probably the most physical game that we've had to play all year. They were a bunch bigger than us, and they were a lot more physical. Our goal was a blue and gold tournament, and we made the winner's bracket, but had to settle for second place. A couple of accomplishments, preseason belt and trophy. Those were downstairs. We had 5th place in that. Sportsmanship trophy in St. Louis. That was in a tri-state regional, and that was so good. It was so good. We were sitting there, and I didn't expect to come back with anything. We went to that thing knowing we were just going to be against a lot bigger team. And these guys came home with the sportsmanship trophy. And that, Mr. Albertson and I tell you what, I saw Mr. Albertson, and he was all teary-eyed and watery in the eyes, and I got that way too. But I tell you what, that's a very special award right there. Second place in the Tulsa Blue and Gold. I'm proud of these guys. and I thank them for their hard work. They're the best, and I wouldn't trade them for anyone. And I'm going to introduce them to you. And in my book, they're winners. These are good women. You want anything to say? Yep. See, that's how it is all year. He never says a word, man. Never says.
I was the same way when I first got married. I didn't say a word. Week after I was married, she wished I was that way again. And so we'll forget about that. I just was, when I came up here, I said to myself, we won 5 games, we're lucky. And I was serious. My daughter can play a better ball than most of the guys out there at the time. But she won't play school ball. But anyway, it's not that funny. It was true. She can hit harder than y'all too. But I came up here, I'm not sure what day it was, but we'll get the record straight. I was quiet, and I was just looking at the guys, and they all thought I was a bump on the log, which will be, you know. But after I got to know these kids, I mean, I was just kind of trying to find the show-offs, and I mean, every team's got a show-off. This team don't have a show-off. I mean, everybody, they're all on the team, they play as a team, and they do anything for each other. But anyway, one time Mr. Mojave came in, he was laughing, and everybody thought he was sick. And yeah, they thought he was been hitting the ball. But it was so funny. He was out there playing ball with the guys like he was one of the guys. And that's when I think the team really thought he was really human. And but really, I've never been involved in anything like this with the group. I was with the Boy Scouts, but you know how they are. But everyone on the team got their own personality. Lance is special to me. He is, I don't know how to say it, he's just special. And Aaron is special too. Aaron would take on anybody. And Jimmy Barber, what can you say about him? I mean, guy in his caliber he should be a show-off. He should be somewhere by himself, no friends, no nothing. He should be. He's good. God gave him a gift of playing basketball. And I'd like to especially thank Mrs. Rhodes for having that night class down at Tulsa. For her doing that, we got to go out to the Spanish place again. And we really had a good time down there. And the blue and gold, that's what I went down, blue and gold. Steve and Sam had blue, gold, and white. That's a joke. We probably. Anyway, the kids got to him with the snowballs. You know, they about killed Steve. But whatever Sam said about the whole bunch is true. You know, it's hard to. I've been in church all my life. I haven't seen a bunch of kids that really witness to other people like these kids have. I'd like to thank all the grown-ups that helped every one of them. And the ones that didn't come out to the game, shame on you. Amen.
Let me make one thing clear here. I don't drink. I couldn't believe when I got home and found out that these guys thought I was chipping the bottle. I got home and Jimmy told me that, and I said, what? Boy, Mr. Bass gets a hold of that one, and man, I just was having a good time. I'm going to introduce these guys to you. We've got some things that we want to give them. One of them earned some pins, and we'll just start from the 7th grade and work right up to the seniors. We've got 8 guys on this team, and every team has to have and instigator. We have the smallest, tiniest instigator around. He would cause problems in the rooms of Tulsa. And Coach Albertson and I would say, now, just cool it, Lance. Leave him alone. And Lance would get up and walk away, and poof! Aaron would hit him side of the head, man. I mean, Aaron McLean, come here, buddy. Down here. What do you think? You got the stage? Aaron didn't get much playing time, but he had to learn some patience. Because when you're practicing, sometimes Aaron would just stand by me. And when he did get to play, he got bumped around quite a bit. Maybe that's why he kind of hit him upside the head when he had a good shot at him. You know? He's a hard worker. In 12 games that he got to participate in this year, he scored 2.5 points per game. That's not a whole lot, Aaron, but you wait, buddy. Aaron's going to be some kind of a ball player later on because he's starting so young. He works hard and he's got a pretty good attitude. So I'm thinking that somewhere down the line, PCA is going to have a pretty real good ball player in Aaron. I hope he grows a little bit. He was best known as my assistant to the assistant. Aaron always has something to say. You know what I mean? But I tell you what, he's one of the finest. Hi, Aaron. I like to embarrass him. Freshman, first of all, alphabetical order, Jimmy Barber. Average 24 points per game. He scored a total of 864 points this year. 36 three-point shots. He was third in rebounding, offensive rebounding with 75 rebounds, and second best in defensive rebounding with 175. Not too bad. He did a pretty good job. I got Jimmy at the end, though. Huh? We had some good times together, and Jimmy got me up in the where we changed after the games, and he got me one time real good with a water bottle. So in Tulsa, I got him with a bucket of ice water in the shower. And I said, hallelujah, I got him. Jimmy, it's been good to have Jimmy around. Jimmy's a leader in some ways, and it was just good to have him around. He's a good basketball player. Mark Bass. Big bad Mark. We can get him off his feet. No, Mark. He averaged 9.4 points per game. He had a total of 347 points. Second best in offensive rebounds at 81, third best in defensive rebounds at 146. Mark, I'm expecting Mark to work on those leg muscles this year in the summertime, squats and all that kind of good stuff. And boy, by the time October 1989 rolls around, He is going to be a mean machine under the boards, let me tell you. Mark Bass. It's good to have him around. Nathan McLean. Nathan averaged 2.9, almost 3 points per game. Total points 108. Defensively, this guy played some pretty good basketball. Like I said before, if you could have been in the Tri-City game, especially the overtime game, you would have seen some real good defense. He played some excellent defense. Hard worker. Just a pleasure to have around. Smiling. Doesn't he have a great smile? I'll tell you what. Scott Ryan. Scott. We won't use that. Average 6.3 points per game, total points 233. 68 defensive rebounds, 33 offensive rebounds. He played point guard most of the year, and he don't like it. We went out one time, and I said, you know, Scott, you're going to be playing point guard for quite a while, won't you? He says, reckon you can find another one somewhere? But he worked real hard, and we used him at the point this year, and not sure what next year is going to bring. He would rather be playing an off-guard position or something like that, probably an off-guard. But Scott was a pleasure to have around. Worked hard, and wore his brother's uniform, number 15. Says something for Jim, and shows the closeness of the relationship between a brother and a brother, which is kind of a neat thing these days. Some kids would rather not wear their brother's uniform. That's true. But he wanted that number really bad. So, Scott, good to have you around, point guard. Jimmy Santiago. Mine's like his other. Average 4.1 points per game. Total points 124. 64 offensive rebounds, 117 defensive rebounds. He's going to be a leaper, folks. I think that he's going to be able to dunk by the time next year. He's working at it. I'm looking for some strong rebounding from him next year, and also from Mark. If we can get these two guys working inside, one big, knock them down. We tried all year, not going back to Mark, but we tried all year, didn't we, to get Mark mad? Not at us. At the opposing team, you know, where he would really, you know, what? Okay. But next year, but these two guys, Jimmy and Mark, boy, we're looking for some inside help next year, and these two guys could really give it to us. It's good to have you around, Jimmy, especially since you belong to me. David Weinberg. David's another one, didn't get a whole lot of playing time in, but he averaged just over 3 points a game in the games he played. You know something, and I had to learn this a long time ago, because this is where I was. It's hard being the 6th, 7th, and 8th player on the bench. It really is. It's fun being a starter. But finding your niche in the game and finding out where you are and where you relate to the team, sometimes, because I've been there before. You want to be on the court and you want to be playing. And you work hard for just a few minutes on the basketball team. But that 6th man, the 7th man, the 8th man, the 9th man, whoever it is on the team is just as important as the number 1 guy. And we proved that. David proved that in Tulsa. Because we ran into some foul trouble and David was in the game early. First quarter, right, David? First quarter. Second quarter. Beginning of the second quarter. And boy, did he do a job. I tell you what, that whole game I was proud of the team, but I was proud of what David Weinberg did that day. And I think David realized some things at the end of the season. David and I got really close at the end of the season. And he's a special young man, and he has been from the very start. And David will be part. And I hope to see you around next year. See you back on the basketball team. Lance Lynn. What can we say about Lance? Absolutely nothing. So we'll just no. You be good, okay? Lance averaged 10.8 points per game, 388 total points. He was second in points. First in offensive rebounds at 88. First in defensive rebounds with 256. That's 7.1 defensive rebounds a game. Best field goal average or percentage with 42%. Second free throw percentage with, best field goal percentage with 42, and second best free throw percentage with 59%. And Lance was second in assists. This is your basketball. This was the basketball team that represented us this year. And folks, we were 15 and 17. And with just a couple little things, even from a couple of freshman coaches making some different decisions, because I'm not going to lay it all on them. The buck stops here, and I realized in some situations that maybe I should have made some other decisions. But we might have very easily been 17 and 16. Very easily. There's a couple games where Mr. Bass said, well, how many times did you replay that game in your mind? It was a few times. And I think I have to get over that, because you can lay awake in bed a long time thinking about the game. You know what I mean? But these guys represented you in a very special way. And you can tell by the testimonies that they did a good job. Good attitude. Fine looking young. Don't they look great? They're just a fine looking young. Before you're seated, we got a couple more things. First of all, we won second place in the blue and gold, and as something to keep around and pin on your jackets when you get them. Only 2 of these guys have school jackets. I'm sure the rest of them, now they've gotten their letters, are going to be asking for that for Christmas. So there's something else to pin on your jacket, the second place medallion in the blue and gold ornament. You may be seated, and I got 3 more presentations, but be seated. I'm sorry I'm taking so long, but I can't help it. I love those guys a whole lot, and I just felt like I wanted to say some things about them. And that closeness that you get with guys, and Mr. Albertson would probably confirm, you get really close with guys. And the last game of the season was really emotional for me. I really didn't want it to end. And the reason is because I knew that it would be a while before we got together again. Jimmy Barber saw me tonight and says, "Hey, it's been a long time since I've seen you." And it seems like it's been a long time. But it really hasn't. We're going to see a lot of each other. But these guys mean a whole lot to me. We've got 3 special awards that we'd like to present. And Mr. A and I talked about these and who should be awarded these special trophies. And this first one, the most improved player, it could have went to just about anybody on the team, actually. And when we first started talking about, there was a number of players that came to our mind. But there's one guy that stood out, kind of above the rest. Not maybe too much above, but kind of stood out above the rest. And this is a guy who would keep going on and keep working and keep pushing even though he was hurting. The guy who listened to direction, and then would work on improving himself. This guy would get down on himself when he didn't have to contribute in a game, and then would come to practice ready to try something, ready to learn. In the first game, there's a big difference in his ball handling ability and his shooting ability as compared to the end of the year. If you've seen him in the first game, you've seen him in the very last game. You would have seen a big difference. Somehow I feel that this guy is going to be ready for next year. Our most improved player of the year is Nathan Green. I'm not good at this. 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, make sure I got the right one. Whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of God. We took that as our scripture verse at the beginning of the year up in that first meeting. And you notice the sign underneath the scoreboard says, yes, we can. And the scripture verse is on that. 1 Corinthians 10:31. Christian Character Award, or Christian Athlete of the Year, goes to the basketball player who has shown by their actions, their attitudes, that they want Christ to be exalted on the court and off the court. This young man showed us leadership, and by his actions, a really good attitude. He showed not just character, but Christian character. And our team really did stand around him. He's just a special young man. We're going to miss him because he's going to be gone this year. Lance Smith.
Say a few words about our season. We've had some good times. We've had some bad times. Like Coach said, we never knew if Mr. Albertson was going to say anything. We didn't know what kind of person he was. We didn't know anything. And we didn't know how Coach was. I remember the first day I met Coach. And he told me some of the things that he was going to have us work on. I was like, man, this is going to be terrible. We're going to hate this. But come to think of it, at the end of the year, I look back, I had an excellent time. Folks, wouldn't have been the same without you. We've had some good times on these tournaments on Tulsa. If you haven't heard already, they got me. I'm the senior. They picked on me. Of course, I picked on everybody else. We ate ponchos at a Mexican restaurant, and we're eating dessert, and I got honey on my hand. Mr. Weinberg, right in his mind, he said, I'm gonna get Lance out. It was both of you. It was both of you. And they got me back to the motel, and they called it Tiger Court. What you call that? They got there and they asked other people, what has Lance done to you that you don't like? I stole Michelle's locker. I jump on Mark when he's not looking. I give Aaron swirlies. Let's see. I throw water on David while he's in the shower twice. And quite a few other number of things. Well, they spread the sheet out in the hallway so they wouldn't get the motel people mad. And then all of a sudden, they just all jumped on me. I think they used 4 cans of shaving cream and a jar of honey. And I had that stuff all over me. I just jumped in the shower and then washed all that off real quick. And yeah, it's videotaped and on camera, and it's all over the school. So, but I really had a good time. I look back, those practices, suicide, don't like suicide. I'm telling you now. 23 laps around the gym floor. I didn't like that. That's a mile. I didn't like that. We call them 17s. We run 17 times across the width of the court under a minute. And a number of us did that. We overcame that. But we were dog tired. The coach, it made us 100% better. It made us better players than anyone else did. It made us work hard, and I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Those 17s are hard. Try it sometime. That's kind of a hard thing. I'm gonna miss you, man. Lance is a very special young man, and I'm just gonna miss you so much. When you think of most valuable player, what do you think of? You think of the guy who contributes the most to the team. Someone who is a leader, someone who has good knowledge of the game. You really think that. This year's most valuable player did contribute much to this team. His ball handling, shooting, rebounding, defense, he gave 100% plus. Jimmy Baldwin. Most points, 864, 24 points per game. Second on defensive rebounds with 175. Third offensive, 75. First intercepts at 99, 2.7 per game. Free throw percentage is 59%. And he's first in assists. Not too bad. That's our most valuable player. That's your basketball team, and I tell you what, they're a great bunch of guys, and I'm looking forward to next year. I've already got some things, and I'm ready for it, and we're going to work harder next year. Doesn't that make you feel good, guys? Thanks a lot.
more here to go. Mrs. McLean has a presentation that she would like to make, and I believe the boys have a presentation they'd like to make, and Michelle has one. We'll get out here.
While Mr. A was at Poncho's, I was at Shoney's. I walked next door, I heard the fire alarm go off. And I said, Lord, make it be all right. And Mrs. Rhodes had them all upstairs in the room, studying, and I was glad. Okay? I have another miracle here in my hand. Some of you saw me taking a lot of pictures. Most of them were of referees or backs or something, and it should have been players for the yearbook. Anyway, Crescent Lake game. I was really excited, and I thought, I need a picture of Mr. A with the team for the yearbook. Can't see this, but I want you all of you will see it later on. Got a picture here. Everybody's face is in it. And all the enthusiasm of having just one, or just the Crescent Lake, I thought was captured in this picture, and I wanted to share that with Mr. Happy and Mr. Albertson. So if they come forward. There are some other people in the picture, and I thought maybe they'd like to have a copy of this too, so I have a copy for each one of the basketball players and each one of the cheerleaders. I'll give those to you later.
Mahaffey's first meeting, we all sat in a preschool room, and we sat and listened to him. He says, we're going to work hard, we're going to go for the goal, and most of all, yes, we can. We went with that statement, yes, we can, the whole year. Most of all, so he showed us and proved to us and made us realize that yes, we did. So this plaque is from TCA varsity basketball team. It reads, Coach Mahaffey, thanks for helping us realize that yes, we can. We really appreciate that.
On behalf of the basketball team, we'd like to give a little thanks to Mr. Albertson. And it's a $25 gift certificate to Jose McGill.
If I don't get called by Kansas or Missouri, I'll probably come back here and
we'd like to ask Mrs. Rhodes and Mrs. McLean to please come up here. Mrs. Rhodes was our sponsor this year, and she'd get out there and share, and she's so funny. She should be a cheerleader herself. I think she should get out there. Miss McLean was our support system. Sometimes when Mrs. Rhodes couldn't be there, she was always there. You know, she was our support system. And I'd also like to thank Dan and Rhonda for taking the time with us. And even though we couldn't get stuff right away, you guys helped us through it, and you made us look pretty good. I'd like to thank Mr. Mahaffey for putting up with the cheerleaders for 4 hours all the way down to St. Louis. And all the way back, and he had listened to us sing our silly little songs and talk about girl stuff. Felt real sorry for him. And we love you, Mr. Mahaffey. We love all the guys, and since this was my only year I ever cheered or anything, you know, I wouldn't want to be a cheerleader for any other basketball team. I think you guys are the greatest. Now we'd like to present flowers to Mrs. Rhodes and Mrs. McLean.
Is there anyone else I've overlooked that needs to make a presentation? Somebody that just has something they'd like to say? We'll be glad to give you an opportunity to do that at this time. Yes. He's got 4 more pages here. Okay. After we're done, right? Okay. Basketball players, first room on the right after you're done. You're going to run up and down the hill 2 or 3 times. I really think that we have achieved what we set out to do this year in athletics, and that was to keep athletics in its proper perspective. Each one of these athletes that's competed this year has been not only a representative of Providence Christian Academy, but they've been a representative of their Lord Jesus Christ. We have really strived this year to keep athletics within that framework, within that perspective. Everyone has worked hard. Everyone has done a good job. And we appreciate that. Appreciate the manner in which you've conducted yourselves at all times. And I hope that you will always try to exemplify Jesus Christ, whether that's in athletics or most of these young people that have paraded in front of you that have been awarded for their academic prowess, for their athletic prowess. Most of them aren't bozos in the classroom either, I assure you. Most of these young people have really done a fine job in the classroom as well. They work hard at all phases of what they do. We appreciate all of them very much. Appreciate all the work. So many people have been involved in everything, from maybe the things that seem insignificant to some people. Appreciate all of you very much. Mr. Chavez, would you come and close in prayer, and if maybe you have something you'd like to say to add to this? If not, you can just close in prayer for us if you will, please.
It's been good tonight. I think the parents ought to just really take the time personally to go over and thank the coaches, everybody that was involved in this, because I think you all know that they put in a lot of time. I know Mr. Mahaffey, every time I come up there and drop the kids off, he'd be here. So there's been a lot of time put in by the volunteers to this. And I can just say this, that I wish there was more parents here, because if they're not involved in sports and coming to the games or whatever, from what I've heard here tonight, I think that they've really missed out on the blessing. They missed out, from what I hear, I guess they missed out on a lot of fun going out of town. And I guess I think what I can see here also is that kids can really magnify Christ in their lives and have a good time doing it. So I think that's the way Christ would want it to be, when you're having a good time in you're exalting Christ. And so I just want to say, on behalf of the school board, on behalf of everybody connected with the school. Thank you, volunteers, Mr. Mahaffey, Mr. Albertson, and volunteers, everybody. Hey, thank you. I know that all of you didn't do it for no self-glory. Done it because, as Mr. Mahaffey said, answered prayer. And whatever you've done, I know you've done it because God called you to do what you were doing. Why don't we all stand for a word of prayer, okay? Father, we just love you so much. And Father, I just thank you, Lord, for all these parents, Father, that are here tonight. Father, I thank you for their participation in sport. Lord, I thank you for the students. Lord, I just pray, Father, Lord, you'll just blessings in a special way. Lord, I pray for the ones that are graduating this year, Father, not going to be able to come back next year and participate. Father, I pray that you use them in a special way as they go out into the world, Father, go to college, whatever it is, Father, I pray that you use them in a special way. I thank you, Lord, for all the coaches that volunteered their help in coaching these teams. Father, I just pray now, Father, that you just guide and direct our lives. Lord, just give us all a safe trip home. And Father, most of all, I thank you, Lord, that you guide our lives.